Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hi, everybody. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend to you.
Happy weekend before Thanksgiving.
And my birthday.
And your birthday. No, there's another weekend before your birthday.
Oh, there's half a weekend.
There's half a weekend. Don't worry, we'll celebrate on the podcast next week. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Greetings and salutations.
We tallied 32 shows this week. We did good, out of which 16 were written or co-written by women, which is 50%.
Yay!
And
good
10,
math.
And 10, which is 31%, were directed by women. I think this was a good week.
Really a good week. And it was good TV.
It was good TV, yeah, because we were catching up on all of our A shows. Now we have the B shows and the C shows.
We still have a few A shows
because
they keep coming.
All right, you guys, we have look, Louise is here. We have tons to tell you about. We have a couple of things to review, but we have a lot of heads up for you because, as you know, this is prime time in the year for many movies and new shows. So, as always, get your pad and pen out.
Especially because a lot of the network shows go on their sort of holiday breaks now. So the cable networks are marching out some excellent shows.
And not to mention, we haven't checked out The Homecoming yet.
To Charlie Brown Christmas. I mean, The Great Pumpkin or Thanksgiving or whatever the hell they are.
Whatever. I wouldn't know. All right, so we're going to start with a new series review. And actually, it's premiering. Well, we're taping this on Friday, but for you, it will already be there on Hulu. It's a new show called The Bisexual, premiering today on November 16th. And it's created by Desiree Akhavan, who is the filmmaker who made The Miseducation of Cameron Post. Now, by the way, speaking of which, a little detour, we're going to have a special vlog for you in the upcoming couple of weeks about 3 movies that we think there's a thread going between through them. Very, very important movies, and The Miseducation of Cameron Post is one of them.
Excellent, by the way.
So The Bisexual is starring Desiree Akhavan herself and Maxine Peake,
who I adore. I love Maxine Peake.
I wish her role actually were bigger, because the show actually revolves around Desiree Akhavan's character, and this is a sort of a dramedy, a British dramedy, about a woman who, after 10 years with, I believe it was her first girlfriend, she breaks up with her when she proposes to her. She doesn't want that life.
That freaks her out completely.
And she wants to explore the possibility that she might be bisexual. So we watched the first couple of episodes, and there's a lot of, I want to try and get it on with men. There's a lot of that. She has friends. There's a lesbian community. She also has this weird new roommate. She has a fantastic friend that is my favorite character, actually. But the problem is that Desiree Akhavan's character herself
is not all that appealing.
She's not all that appealing.
She's kind of off-putting. She's just, you just don't really like her that much. But having said that, it's very interestingly, it's well written.
Yes, it is.
It's got some very funny lines. It has some insightful things. It made us interested enough to, try another one. And
it's an important subject matter. I mean, bisexuals in general don't get enough representation.
They get poo-pooed.
They get the short shrift of every side of the equation. And so this is an interesting exploration. It's loosely based on Desiree Akhavan's personal experiences, I believe. And so it's good that it's out there. It's worth you checking out. And we would love to know how you felt about it, as always. So The Bisexual is on Hulu starting November 16th. I believe there are only 6 episodes at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
And they are not sure yet about a second season. So go check it out. Now, a film review. And this is a very, very small film. You can find it on Amazon.
Tiny,
but very, very sweet.
A very sweet movie, very likable, very charming.
And it's called Unlovable, but it is lovable.
Very lovable, as are all the characters.
Yes, and it's directed by Susie Unessi and written by Charlene de Guzman, Sarah Adina Smith, and Mark Duplass from the Duplass brothers. Yeah. Well, they're the producers, I believe. And Charlene de Guzman, who wrote it, is also starring in it, alongside John Hawkes and Melissa Leo, who was my major draw to check out this film, though she didn't feature too prominently.
But still, whatever she does is great.
I know. I just love her. And Charlene de Guzman was just lovely.
So charming. And John Hawkes, who was just he's such an interesting, weird actor.
He is.
But he was so sweet in this. And I just loved it.
Yes.
They had great chemistry.
Let's tell them what it's about. It's about a young girl, played by Charlize de Guzman, who is... they call it a sex and love addict. Mm-hmm. And she goes to a support group, which is sort of like AA, NA, etc. And she gets a sponsor who's played by Melissa Leo.
A reluctant sponsor.
And she lets her stay at her grandmother's guest house. And her grandmother is being taken care of by Melissa Leo's brother, played by John Hawkes. And they form this very, very interesting relationship.
Yes, he's obviously on the spectrum.
Yes, he's somewhat socially awkward. He's a bit bizarre, but they connect through music. And it becomes a very, very interesting, kind of beautiful relationship. And the movie, it was charming. And
unexpected.
I liked everybody.
It was completely original.
Yes.
Nothing you would expect, nothing you've ever seen.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Just a little slice of life.
Yeah. So Unlovable is on Amazon right now for, a couple of bucks. So check it out. Now, Mimi, take it over.
Yes.
For one of
on my birthday, November 25th, on Bravo, Dirty John. It's a mini-series from writer Alexandra Cunningham, but... Most importantly, starring Connie Britton.
Let's just stop for a second. Connie Britton. How much do we love Connie Britton?
I
mean, seriously, how much do we love
Connie? We love her
severely.
We love Connie Britton so much. We watched the whole first season of American Horror Story.
Too.
Yeah,
yes, that's how much we love her.
That was the end of that. Julia Garner, whom we adore. If you haven't seen Ozark yet, she steals the series. Eric Bana, very handsome, the Hulk, and Juno Temple. And sadly, it's about Deborah. Connie Britton falls in love with a handsome doctor and gets pulled into a sinister game of psychological manipulation. This is based on a true story. We saw a trailer of it. It's absolutely harrowing.
It looks terrifying.
And it just kind of made me sick.
But it looks scary in a real way, which is even worse.
It's, I think, probably even it's a heightened sleeping with the enemy. Or,
so something like that. I mean, I don't think
Enough. What was the one?
With Jennifer Lopez. I don't think it's so much about abuse.
Psychological abuse.
Yes, but I don't mean like physical abuse. I think it's very much a psychological thriller. And I love that the trailer says that the scariest thing about this is that it really happened.
I'm sure it happens all the time.
Well, and the thing is, also you think you know a person, and then you discover, oh my God, that they have this whole other side to them that you had no idea about. It looks terrifying, but it also looks like Connie Britton.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
It does. Dirty John on Bravo, November 25th for Mimi's birthday.
Thank you.
Now, another heads up for a miniseries premiering Monday, November 19th on AMC. It's called The Little Drummer Girl, and it's based on a John le Carré novel. I know you're a big John le Carré fan, my love.
Yes, I am, and this was a very popular book.
And it's starring Alexander Skarsgård, Michael Shannon, and do you know Florence Pugh?
We know Florence Pugh from somewhere. I actually looked it up, and now I've forgotten what we know her from.
But because I didn't recognize her.
She's not universally someone on our radar.
Maybe now she will be.
I think so.
And this is about 1979 West Germany. It's about a bomb goes off in the house of an Israeli attaché, and the Israelis suspect that it's a Palestinians, and they recruit this English actress, I suppose that's Florence Pugh, who manages to brilliantly win the confidence of the Palestinian network until she is accepted as one of their own. It sounds
so
very
intriguing,
interesting.
and you know she's going to be in so much danger all the time.
But I think she's going to be on top of this. I have a feeling.
I hope so.
I mean, it's called The Little Drummer Girl.
And, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is...
well, and this is interesting because it goes back to 1979.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And,
gives you some... it's not all origin, but gives you some past history.
I don't know how much he's basing this on, real events or on actual research, but the Israeli-Palestinian crisis is ongoing.
Yes.
And
will continue to be ongoing for a long time.
Unfortunately, probably. But there's so much material there. I mean, we have many shows that we've seen that are based on that conflict, and this is a kind of an interesting aspect of it when you involve an English, actress. Who I think will be the center stage of this show. So
it used to be my fantasy because I was an actress
to be
an undercover cop.
Oh,
thank God
I didn't follow through on
that. But I used to think I might be good at that.
Yes, well, you probably would be, but I wonder where you'd end up.
Oh, I probably would be.
Anyway, The Little Drummer Girl premieres on Monday, November 19th on AMC. It sounds really interesting. Do check it out, people. Mimi.
Okay,
you are getting all my favorites today, pun intended.
I think, actually, this is the movie I've looked forward to most in a long time. It is called The Favorite, and they've been. It opens in theaters on November 23rd, and I'm sure you've seen something about it because they're really expecting a lot from it.
Which is fabulous considering what you read about how 10 years ago. Or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you what it's about, then I'll give you a little history. Anyway, it's directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, who we never. I mean, he did The Lobster, The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
The Killing of a Sacred
Probably
Deer.
the worst, most boring, most pretentious piece of poo-poo.
If you ever get a chance to see it, just say no.
Yeah,
just say
don't.
no.
But apparently, according especially to Rachel Weisz and to everything we've seen, because we've laughed our asses off, this is nothing like his previous work. And it's written by Deborah Davis and Tony McNamara. And it's starring Olivia Colman as Queen Anne, Rachel Weisz as Lady Sarah, her close advisor, and Emma Stone as Abigail. And she describes herself in an interview as Eve Harrington in All About Eve. And here's really what it's about. It says, in early 18th century England, a frail Queen Anne, who was a very, very, very powerful figure of her time, occupies the throne, and her close friend, Lady Sarah, governs the country in her stead, Rachel Weisz. When a new servant, Abigail, arrives, her charm endears her to Sarah. So it's going to be a lesbian love triangle between Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz, and Emma Stone. And as my wife writes in her notes, need we say more? I don't think that the lesbian aspect is going to be.
I think it will be.
I don't think it will be set. I think the rivalry for power will be. I think that sex probably is something that they use to get power.
Maybe, but it's between three women, more to the point.
Of course.
I mean,
and the men apparently have so little to do in this. Not only do the men have little to do in this, and the women are powerful and fabulous, but the men wear lipstick and heels. So it's a complete role reversal, which we love. And I think when they started shopping this 2011 around 2013, they just couldn't find anybody to be interested in it because they said, well, first of all, there are no men hardly in it, and lesbians, who will be their audience? And then when it came, and Olivia Colman was always attached to it,
and I'm not surprised.
And I'm not surprised because
God,
she is one of the great
Colman.
actresses, really, of our time. She's going to be a dame any day now. And Rachel Weisz, first they wanted...
Is it Kate Winslet?
Kate Winslet.
And then Kate Blanchett?
And then Kate Blanchett. And neither one of them worked out. So thank goodness it fell upon Rachel Weisz. And Emma Stone wasn't even in contention because he didn't think didn't even think about an American, but she was sent the script, and after she read the whole thing, at first she thought, oh, this girl's kind of boring and a victim, and then she got into it. She said she had to have this role. And Lanthimos only let her even audition until she went to a dialect coach for a month or something.
Wow.
And
she really wanted this role.
And she got
That's
it.
great.
And you are going to have I think it's just going to be divine. There's already talk about Oscar nominations and
for all girls,
all the girls. Yes. So
have
at it.
The trailer just looks like a hoot, and I mean, they had me at first of all when they announced the cast, then when they said a lesbian love triangle, and then when I saw the trailers. I mean, we are going probably on the day it opens.
I think we are. It's part of my birthday weekend. Yes. How many times have I mentioned birthday now? About 27.
You're trying to send subliminal messages here.
I'm trying to be happy about it instead of depressed.
Oh, baby, come on. Hi. Anyway, The Favorite opens November 23rd. Go in droves.
Yes, let's support this movie about women and lesbians.
Yes. Now, finally, I want to tell you just quickly about a movie that opened. Actually, it's today again, Friday. You will be hearing this Saturday at the very earliest. But a 2017 Australian thriller film called Cargo, starring Susie Porter, our very own. And so, we always feel like our Wentworth family is our Wentworth family.
Yes.
And we always mention when something happens. So it opens on Netflix finally this Friday. It's written and co-directed by Yolanda Ramke.
Chris McQuaid is in it too. She was Jax.
Right, Jax from Wentworth. So. Yes, Martin Freeman, Anthony Hayes. And it was co-directed by Ben Howling. And it's about an epidemic that spreads all over Australia and a father who searches for someone willing to protect his daughter.
I'd like to start that tonight.
Well, maybe we will.
Okay.
There's no telling what we might end up doing, though I do want to get into House of Cards.
I know you do.
Now, because we have a little time left, actually.
We do?
Yes, we do, because we ran through everything so quickly. And I was thinking, and it's one of the things that I promised the Wentworth contributors that we'll talk about, and we mentioned a few times already this season amongst ourselves.
Even I'm surprised. I don't know what you're going to be talking about.
Well, I wanted to mention This Is Us. Because they're having a very, very good season.
Really
and,
excellent.
This is their third season, and in previous seasons, they would always start very strongly, and about halfway into the mid-season, I would say, it's just too saccharine, and everybody's too self-involved. But this season, they're having a very, very good season. And I think one of the reasons is because in previous seasons, everything revolved around the father. In this season, we see them independently, and we actually see his background.
Yes, we understand why Jack was Jack, why he didn't want to talk about Vietnam. There's a lot of footage that a lot of scenes in Vietnam, horrible, harrowing scenes,
which is always fascinating.
But we see all their journeys.
Yes, and they're no longer. I feel that in previous years it was constantly about how idyllic and how he was portrayed as this
God,
perfect person. And even though, yes, he was a very, very good father, I always felt like I wanted to see the gritty parts because he was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that he had other sides to him. And I really, really love that they went back to explore some of the earlier times and really...
it's a really, really, really good season. Everybody is doing excellent work. We're getting to know more about the semi-secondary characters like Toby and Beth.
Yes.
Kevin's love interest, played by Melanie LeBird. Zoe, beautiful, beautiful actress. Also, you might know her from Dark Matter. We've just found out something very interesting about her. It's a very deep, kind of dark
this season. That's what I feel like. Yes, they finally are not afraid to really go into the dark. And I've really been enjoying it. I think and I like that they always. You think they're going in expected and predictable ways, and they always kind of take a turn on that.
It's a
really
beautifully written show. It really, really is a special show, and it's
and the going back and forward
they make
in
it
time,
work.
Yeah, which doesn't always
not
work
easy
on all shows. But
kudos, and the acting is wonderful. If you sort of gave up on it, or if you've never watched it, watch the other 2 seasons real fast and then get to this season.
Because, again, the other 2 seasons were good.
Excellent.
But at some point, usually during, like, after the halfway, I would get tired of it. And so if you have gotten tired of it, I urge you to try this 3rd season after all, because it is very, very good. And the episodes have been very moving.
They explore very important topics on this show.
They do, in a way that looks kind of a little simplistic, but it's not. And it's the kind of show that I kind of never want to watch, but once I start watching, I really, really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I felt the show turned a corner with Kevin's episode last year.
Yeah, because they finally let him do something really substantial.
Really substantial.
Yes, it was really good.
It was wonderful.
So This Is Us, if you haven't checked it out yet, it's on NBC on Tuesdays. And I think that next week, maybe we'll go over some of the new shows and see which ones lived up to our expectations and which ones did not.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
So ahead of that, if you want to email us, ladypartstv@gmail.com, and tell us which of the new shows you loved and which lived up to your expectations and which fell short. I think some of them have already been canceled, which, always happens. We always go back to the Playboy Club, which we love.
It's always my favorite shows, and just let me say Surface again.
The Surface. Anyway, and we will catch up with Homecoming very, very soon, with the final season of House of Cards, which I can't believe we haven't started yet, because we're going to end up...
Because we have 49,000 things on our DVR, and it's going to explode if we don't.
But you know what? As you said, soon enough, this holiday season, and all the networks, the major networks, are going to go on starting to show It's a Wonderful Life on
their
Hulu.
Fall finales.
Mid-season finales, yes. So we're going to have time to binge on all these other shows and all these other movies and all the screeners.
We're not going to have time, but that's okay.
We're going to do our best. Thank you for joining us for another podcast.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And we would like to give thanks for you.
Yes, we would.
Our people, our family, our viewers and our listeners.
Yes,
Thank you.
I hope your Thanksgiving goes better than the one on Lesbom.
Yes, check it out, by the way.
Yes.
So we'll see you at the other end of Thanksgiving and on Mimi's birthday weekend, just in case you missed it.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.